My name is Joran van Gremberghe, and I founded Joranalogue Audio Design some years ago to basically with a passion for analog synthesis. So I'm always looking to do new things with analog synthesizers, things that no one has ever tried or no one has ever done before. And it started with just me designing Eurorack modules. Now we've got a growing team. Our modules are used all around the world, and we keep designing new things. We keep coming out with new modules, and yeah, this is what we do, and we do it right here in Belgium with a small team of passionate engineers, musicians, and people who just fully believe in this concept, in this vision of batch programmable analog synthesis. All of our modules are designed, made, tested, packed here in Belgium, and it's interesting because it gives us a level of control that's, well, it's essential to how we want to do things, and it's essential to the way we want to run the brand and the way we want to think of the brand. So it's you know, it's not just like charity, or of course it's you know, we want to support the local economy. We want to be based in this local industry, but it's also a big benefit to us to be able to go to to our assembly house, talk to the people, tweak things in production, get modules quickly. So the short supply lines, the short lines of communication, those are extremely valuable to us. It's affected the company quite positively, I think, because to be able to innovate and iterate at the rate we want to, you need to be able to do this, and you need to have reliable partners that are close by and speaking your language, but also who understand your vision. And that's crucial for us, that everyone we work with, all of our partners, whether they be based in Belgium or outside of Belgium, that they understand that we are moving in a direction, and we're moving there pretty fast. And we want to make sure that everyone is on board, and we are happy to be able to say that that's the case. Okay, we are in our factory here in Belgium, and this is where it starts. This is the automated part storage, and we'll see a drawer come down with components stored on reels, ready to be used on the pick and place machine. So these are all SMT parts. And then the drawer will return to storage. Second step of the process, the picked SMT parts are being loaded onto the feeder for the pick and place machine. Again, step 3 of the process, SMT assembly. The operator is changing a reel of components, and then the machine gets going again. So the SMT reels on the feeders are loaded to the pick and place machine robots, and they are assembling the board. So they're placing SMT parts on our bare circuit boards. The board has been assembled and now moves on to the reflow oven for reflow soldering. That was part 5 of the production process, inspection after reflow soldering of the SMT parts. Part 6, through-hole component picking. So we have a big stock of through-hole parts. They are picked from the inventory and then moved to the production site. We jump to part 7 here, through-hole placement. So the through-hole parts are manually placed on the circuit boards and prepared for wave soldering. Now we are on step 8, so wave soldering. So the through-hole components have been placed, and these are temporary front panels being used to keep them in place. Now the boards, they go through the wave soldering machine. They are being preheated by the heaters, and then they will pass over basically a waterfall of molten solder, which solders all the through-hole joints on the bottom of the module in one pass. So wave soldering is done. Now we are on step 9, hand soldering. So the components are all soldered, placed soldered on the two boards. The boards are married, installed, attached to each other. They are placed, in the case of step 8, in a custom-made holder. The holder is tightened. And now the boards will be hand soldered, so there is some hand soldering. Final assembly. So circuit boards are all finished, everything is soldered, and now the aluminium front panels are installed, the nuts are installed and tightened. And this is the final production step, finishing the module. Step 11, the modules have been fully assembled and they're now being packaged for transportation to the Joranalogue office. Modules are placed in the box and then they're ready for transportation. Here at Joranalogue, audio design is to create a new analog synthesizer. So we like to say that we design 21st century analog synthesis. And I think it's true because a lot of the things we do have either never been done before, or they're ideas that no one has ever been able to do until now because the technology just didn't exist. And that also extends to the way we do production, the way we test and design and package and so on is very much, it's very different than how vintage synthesizers used to be made or developed and so on. Serial number is put on. Then the module goes into the pouch with all the accessories, the cable, the screws and so on. And then everything goes into the box. That's the module in the pouch. Card goes on top. Box is closed. And we put our nice sleeve over it, and that's a finished product. So innovating in general is a very challenging thing because you're trying to do things no one has ever done before. So you're not certain whether you're doing the right thing whenever you head into any innovation project. For us, it's an additional challenge because we're limited to the analog technology. So what we try to do is get the most out of just the idea of analog electronics. And that's something I realized quite early, is that would be the basic concept, the basic tenet of the brand, is that you get any of our modules, it's fully analog with all the added benefits, but there's also downsides, and that's what we do, and that's what we want to keep on doing. I think are very interesting because it's easy to think of aesthetics as just being a purely visual thing, but it extends much further than that. The way something looks creates certain expectations, or it communicates something to the user, and that's what we are also trying to do with our line of modules, is to communicate a level of precision, to communicate the versatility that's in the system, and also communicate with a very cohesive design language, communicate this cohesive patching ability. The patch programmability is actually visible from the aesthetic design. So we want to make sure that everything is very clear. We want to make sure that it's ergonomic, and we like to take design cues from things like vintage test gear, things that are designed for an environment where you want to clearly communicate the function of a device, and that extends all the way to not just the basic design of the module, but also the user manuals and so on. All the communication we do, we always strive to be very clear and very comprehensive. Here in Belgium we have a very strong connection with electronic music. We have in the past, and we still have. There's so much that's happened here historically. We've got classic labels and artists and events, and it's an interesting environment for us as an electronic music or electronic music adjacent company to be situated in. And there is a strong connection, we feel, with the electronic music community, which we're very involved with. So we work with local artists, and there's a sense of, to put it with a cliche, there's electricity in the air, I think, and to be a part of this and to not just design but also build instruments in this country. I like to think we can punch above our weight. Keeps us going, definitely me personally going every day, is this realization that there's an infinite vastness of sound left to be explored in the purely analog realm. And it's almost like it's tantalizing. It's so close by, and the only downside is that it takes a lot of work to design all of these modules to achieve this. But it's worth it. And for every module, there's a certain point where we realize that there's more to this than even the basic concept we thought about. And it in a way it ends up happening that we don't need to specifically look for it often. It's just that by designing in a certain way, the way we are always looking to get the highest fidelity and the highest precision and the widest range, we end up with modules that have specific sound and a specific character, but even it's like more than a character, because it also extends to all of the usability to it is even more than just how it sounds. It's also how you interact with it as a musician, and that I think is the key thing that just makes it very exciting to be doing what we are doing. So as a designer of hardware, I feel that we have a certain responsibility to fulfill when it comes to climate, or also socially the environment in which we operate, because we want to create things that last, and that's in every sense of the words. So it's about, you know, high build quality. It's about the support we give to users, the warranty, the information, and it's also about the energy use and the materials we use. We've been moving towards plastic-free packaging. The office is solar powered. Our assembler also uses solar power. We've got geothermal. We've got electric cars, because it's genuinely how we feel, is that we want to create something that lasts even in a changing world. Joranalogue design is all about creating 21st century analog synthesis right here in Belgium.